Awesome. How's it going, everyone? I'm doing this outside in the veranda, so there's going to be some background noise. If I jump up at any times, because I'm on watch for my caring role, so you just see me jump up and disappear. That's what I'm doing. Is my voice coming through loud enough? I'm hoping it is. We got how you going, Caged Pastor? How you going? Good to see you here. Let me know if you can hear me. Awesome. You can probably hear the birds in the background. It's we've had rain for the last few days and it's just stopped, so it's nice getting all this rain. And this time of year we don't always get much rain like this. See there, you can hear the birds. The birds have been dealing with the rain for the last few days, so now as soon as it stops raining they get busy. So I put in the description, keeping going when times get difficult, times get tough, and that's what I'm looking at, making myself ready for difficult times ahead. Basically, I've got a lot of things going on, so many things, and in the last few months I've had so many things, and then I look back at the things with there's a lot of things I didn't really need to deal with at all in the last few months, and I guess having to deal with them has sort of humbled me. So I have a new found appreciation for a lot of things. I look back at achievements over the last few months, and it's amazing what I have achieved with considering all these things going on. And I've just got to keep that momentum. Don't slow down. I've got to understand that there will be times where everything changes, and that's going to happen soon, and I've just got to be ready for it. So, like I said in the description, focusing on physical health as well as emotional and mental health is something that I'm really that'll be my main focus in the next few weeks. Will be just take things as calmly as possible. Try and build a momentum for my exercise, which I haven't really got achieved yet. It's probably too early for me to establish exercise every day. I'm managing, once a week at the moment. So I'm going to try and increase that to a few more times a week. But to be honest, like, the things that I've had to deal with in the last few months have been pretty unnecessary. And I'm just sort of really grateful that there is this support network out there of people that are really kind and considerate and appreciate me, and I appreciate them. And it's not easy doing this, I make mistakes. It's not easy, and also just dealing with everything I've got going on. Like, you'll see I'm constantly scanning around because I'm on watch at the moment. So I have to jump up at any time for my caring role. I'm able to sit here and do this, sit here on the veranda and talk. So, what am I going to do for this next period? What am I going to do? And I've got a lot already that I have going on. So I've just got to keep that going and not really try to do too much more. If I try to do too much at the moment, it's going to be difficult for me. So, and I think the main thing is just being prepared for changes, which is going to happen. I do have a bit of uneasiness and sadness. I've got this this app on my phone. It's a pretty good app called How We Feel. Sorry, the birds are pretty loud. And you can see blue and red are uneasy feelings, and the orange and green are good. So it's showing me that 45% of the time things are tough, 3% of the time things are really tough, 10% of the time things are reasonably good, and then the other 42% of the time things are not really good. So overall, so I got that wrong. It's saying half the time things are good, half the time things are difficult. And this app allows you to track your emotions, and it's really a good app. I'll keep using it because it's a great way I can go back through the days and look at what things upset me and or made me feel happy or whatever emotion. So it's really good like that. It's like a diary for emotions. They're the Corellas. They're pretty loud, aren't they? They're quite loud, these birds, and they're huge. They're massive birds. We have thousands of them all roost in the trees not far. And when you hear like thousands of them all roosting in trees, it's an amazing sound. I did have a recording on my YouTube of that, but I think I'll go and go back and make another one. So I've got to look at the positives. You know, looking towards moving forward in a positive way, knowing that things are going to get tough very soon for me. Means I can prepare myself for it all. And I can keep doing the things that are helping me. And yeah, like I said, not try to do too much. Just be prepared for it all. How you going? Go fast. Good to see you here, mate. There's some work going on next door, so you'll hear that. Hopefully it's not too loud. It's the nature of it. Good to see you too, mate. So we got birds, we got building noise, so can't avoid it. This is the only place I can do this at the moment, so I can keep watch. So, you know what? Go Fast says, hey, one of these times we will do a video chat on an airplane page we talked on. Awesome. Yeah, totally. I've got to start doing that. I've got all this balsa wood, and I was chatting to Go Fast, and he makes balsa wood airplanes, hand thrown ones. And I used to make them when I was a kid, and it was so much fun. And we were talking about that the other night, and it's awesome because I realized I had all this balsa wood sitting that I'd bought for making building models years ago, and so I'll get around to doing that this week, I think. So yeah, it's yeah, awesome, good fun ahead. Free wood, yeah. I've got heaps. I've got it's like all different shapes and sizes. So enough to make plenty of aeroplanes. So that'll be a really good projects for me to do, really. Hopefully the building noise isn't too loud, but I can't avoid it, you know. But it's pretty interesting, like this as a sound exercise. There's so much going on. There's building noise, there's crickets, there's the corellas in the trees. There's people laughing and playing, making noise, racket, you know. There's the odd car that drives past. So, you know, I've got to be grateful for everything that I've achieved in the last few months, and look at the wins, look at the things that have been success, and actually look at the things that have been difficult and actually change the perspective of that to be not so much being things that were painful or harmful or difficult. Look at it like these are things that I managed to get through and learn from. I've learned a lot from what I should do for how I boundaries, basically. Having boundaries, healthy boundaries. And, you know, I've talked about this where it's like, it's good to have boundaries, but not barriers. Because, you know, you don't want to lock yourself into this thing. So you want to create a safe position for yourself. But one of the biggest thing with boundaries is like when you set them up, you've got to make sure you keep them. Because when you don't stick to them, people walk all over you type thing. And so it makes it even worse, you know. So I'm looking at all these things as positives, you know, things that I've learned. It's a great learning experience, really. What I've got to take from it is to actually make sure I actually do learn from it and don't let these things happen again. Or it means I have to change some things. I've got to change the way I act. And, I don't like having to, you know, boundaries are such a healthy thing to have, but I like to sort of not have them as well. Wouldn't it be nice if we could live in a world where we didn't even have to have that? But unfortunately, we do, you know, and it's a necessary thing. And, you know, Cage Pastor says holding boundaries comes at the risk of judgment. Yes, that is absolutely true. That's a good comment, you know. So I guess having fairness and maybe if the boundaries are too mild, then they're almost worthless. So Go Fast says still cleaning and organising shop spaces in the various workshop buildings over here. Awesome. That's something I can do in the next few weeks. Is to focus on that myself, actually. Someone's mixing up mortar in a bucket, I think, with one of those drill mixers. That's what it is. So, yeah, I've got to look at all the things that I've achieved So Go Fast says, cheers, my man. Nice to see you outside. Thanks, dude. I'm going to try and do this more often. You know. And I'm sorry if the background sounds annoying, but I can't move from this spot anyway. So. It won't last. Once they've mixed up their bucket, it'll be fine. So I've got all these things I've got to catch up on now because I missed out on all this stuff in the last few months that I had planned to do. So there's no shortage of things for me to do, which is great. I don't have to actually think about what to do. I've already got lists of things to do. And sorry about the noise. It'll only go for another minute or so. Not giving up, you know. And I spoke about this in the last stream. Cage Pastor says it's all about deciding what to do first. Yeah, that's a really good point. There is, like, in some respects, I don't even have to think. Like, you know, with some things, I know I already have like priorities, and then on top of that, you know, any additional spare time can be filled with any number of things. I think for me, the main thing is preparing myself for difficult times, which is, you know, and that's it's it's happening now, and so I'm very grateful that I'm coping with it all quite well. A few months ago, it was really troubling me, and I came to terms with, you know, the inevitability of what the next few months are going to be for me. And then I had all these amazing successes, of success, and then I had all these difficult things happen that were unnecessary, like all these things that really drained all my energy, and I could get angry at myself for this, for allowing it to happen. Because in a way, I did allow it to happen. I could have prevented it, and you know, at the same time, I just, I guess I made a mistake. You know, I acknowledge that, and so um, I'm more cautious now with a lot of things. So I guess that then goes back to creating boundaries. You know, acknowledging my faults and not getting upset like there's a house being built. So it's all right. It gives you something interesting to have in the background. And you know, I guess it's a reflection of what I'm talking about, is that, you know, you can expect calm and things to be simple and run smoothly, and it's not going to be like that. I think you know, taking into account that there will always be these elements that are just affecting. So not dwelling on it is a big thing. And again, not dwelling on the mistakes, but learning from them. And I still am disappointed with myself in a way, because I allowed these things to happen. I was, I guess, naive, and maybe I had to learn that lesson, that now, you know, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's the best thing in the world that's happened to me, is that I've had to learn these lessons right now. And I mean, so many things are happening for me right now. You know, I've got to book an appointment with the national parks soon, so I can have a meeting with them before Christmas, so I can talk about my nature therapy aspirations. You know, I've got the mindfulness teacher training that's going. These are all just amazing things that are just, you know, 6 months ago, I had no idea I'd be doing any of this, you know, and it's like my whole life's already changed. So I've got to be really grateful for all that. So, you know, I am grateful for everything, really. You know, for my mistakes, I take them as learning. You know, really, they are such a, you know, positive thing. So I've just switched. Go Fast says what part of Australia, and I'm in Queensland, in Brisbane. It's a tropical, subtropical environment. You can see all the trees and stuff in the background. And so Pastor says, can you explain what happened? Well, there's lots of things that happened, really. You know, to be, I mean, I didn't really want to go too much into detail about this, but I think it's very important to, and it's that this is a big learning experience for me. And you'll notice how when I first started doing the streams, I could barely speak. I could barely put words together. And, you know, I've managed to turn that around massively, you know. I mean, I'm having difficulties maybe at the moment right now speaking But that's because while I'm talking, I'm actually thinking about a lot of things. So maybe if I simplify it and sort of go through some things. So it was a big learning experience with this whole being vulnerable and talking about personal things and doing it in a sensitive way. You know, one that fits within the community guidelines of YouTube, for starters. Also within my own self-dignity. That's been difficult in a sense that, well, no, I wouldn't change anything if I went back through. I would change some things, but I wouldn't not have done these streams if it weren't for a massive healing thing for me, is to like sit here and talk about things that have caused damage to me and caused pain and anguish and suffering, and then also in a constructive way talk about how I've managed to either grow from them or learn from them. It has been, it's been life changing. All these things have been life changing for me. You know, meeting all these people and big learning curve. So, you know, I wouldn't change it, except I'd change how I maybe did certain things. So I protected myself a bit more because I did make myself vulnerable. And that caused me a lot of pain. So I did make mistakes with that. You know, doing chats like this, it's not easy. And one thing I'll be certain of, sorry, I'm always checking. One thing I'm certain of is that I've learned a lot from it all. And I appreciate so much the support I've gotten from all these amazing people. And, you know, they say I'm helping them. So that's really possible. That's really positive that this has made this possible. You know, what I'm trying to get at is that the chat streams are amazing, uplifting things, and so many people have come to them and had an opportunity to talk about things that have really caused them pain, and it's been very healing for them. And that's, for me, I'm grateful that I've been able to have that to be there for other people. And at the same time, they've been there for me, and also I've been there for myself. Like, I've been there. That's what this whole thing's about, is documenting my journey of healing, you know, and post-traumatic growth. But I mean, they're both happening at the same time. So I've still got a long way to go. But what I'm trying to get at is that these chats are so important, you know, not just for me, but for other people. So I'm honoured to have it happen, you know. And so I just got to keep checking. I'm on watch. It's not easy because, you know, we're all survivors of many things, and so we're all very sensitive, you know, but we manage to get along pretty well, which is amazing, you know. I'm only now having to think about how I approach this whole format, and it's something that I don't want to impose restrictions or limits, rules, but I think in some ways it's necessary. So any sort of changes I make will be to protect the safety of anyone who comes to these chats. So that's a priority, and it's also for me as well, you know. You know, if I'm going to be able to keep doing these chats, it has to be good for all of us, you know. So there has been some difficulties with it, but look, considering like the number of streams that I've done, and the actual number of negative things that have happened, it's pretty amazing how much it's been a safe place for everyone. And I want it to continue like that. So I think moving forward, I have to now reassess, you know, like one thing that I think about any system or practice or group or whatever, like periodically reviewing your practices and reflecting, recapitulation, fine-tuning, adjusting. It's an essential thing, and in the world, it doesn't happen near enough. Most systems that resist any form of change, or you know, even there might be review processes, but they don't happen often enough. So when I think about this channel, maybe it's time, it is just naturally time for me to reassess everything, and then maybe make a few changes to make it even safer for people, to encourage the communication, and I think that's a very important thing to do. So YouTube used to have Marina's here. Awesome. How you going, Marina? Marina says, hello, everyone. I'm listening and doing chores. Hope all is well. See, that's awesome. You know, and that's like what I spoke about in my last community post, is that doing chores is such a, you know, it's a necessary thing. And it can be such a healthy thing. You know, you get benefits from it. You're making your life better. It's also, you're doing things that are responsibilities. So, you know, it gives you time to actually think about things. So it also gives you time to do something like this. You can listen to me talking to you while you're getting things done. So you're able to use your time in a very productive way. I guess, yeah, Marina says, yeah, 100%. Like I spoke about sort of in that community post where I talked about, you know, you can utilize doing chores and, you know, work around the house as a distraction. And also it has that positive benefit. And then it can lift your mood, definitely. So I'm barely doing enough myself at the moment. So earlier, Go Fast mentioned doing cleaning and organising the shop spaces and the workshop building. How cool is that? There's an insect flying around me at the moment. But, see that? Like literally buzzing it. We got so many cool insects here. It's like, I'll see if I can get it to land on me. It seems to like me. Look at this. Anyway. So review, that's what I was talking about. Periodic review of processes is such an important thing to do. And, you know, if you can do that for your own life, that's very powerful, you know. And so you can, I do it like once a week. So I do my Sunday stream where I talk about my previous week and my successes and failures and what I'm doing the next week. And so, you know, I am constantly reviewing, but not on a daily basis. I'm doing it on a weekly basis. What I have problem is totally. Case Pastor says the bug flew around your head, lol. Totally. It's gone now. Hopefully it comes back. So it's back again. Review and refine and, you know, I guess what I wasn't doing was there were certain things that I was neglecting in my weekly review of what I was doing. And now I can look back and go, okay, this is why things ended up a certain way. And I'm not going to dwell on it, but I'm going to appreciate it, that at least now there's the insects back again. There it is. How cool is this? We've got a visitor. It's not one that bites you. It's like a wasp or something, but not all wasps bite. So maybe I was neglecting things that I should have been reviewing and fine tuning, and I missed out on opportunities because of that, and I also stuffed things up. And so, I acknowledge that, and I'm learning from it, and I'm moving on from it, and things are going to get better. So it's probably really sort of fortunate that things got to this point where I was basically now forced to look at how I do these chats and the streams, how what boundaries I need to have in place in my life, and now I've realized there was things that I was neglecting in the review process. So, I'm really grateful for this in a way. It's actually, it's like it's I see it now as a positive thing. I'm not upset by it. So I was last few days. I have been upset about how much energy I put into certain things, and also I was upset about the energy that was drained from me from worrying about things. And now I've had a bit more time. It's actually such a great thing, because like I was saying earlier in the chat, is that things are going to get very, very difficult for me soon. And I can actually look at how I'm dealing with it all now, and I'm coping with it quite well. I have to focus on, people keep saying, make sure you sleep. That's a very important thing. And so I am getting enough sleep. It's irregular. So for instance, I had less than an hour's sleep today. And yeah, so I've been up almost over 24 hours. But that's fine. Like, I'm going to have a sleep this afternoon. In about an hour or so, I'm going to, maybe 2 hours when I'm relieved from the care duties this afternoon, and then I can rest. It's such a. I'm so grateful that I can do this. I can just sit here and talk about my life and what I need to be doing, and refine how I go about refining. Because it's always a learning process, and yeah, like I've got to be grateful for things, and I'm very optimistic for the future, and that doesn't mean it's not going to be easy. I had this awesome thing happen yesterday. So got my insurance for the mindfulness finalized yesterday. Which is important. And then I messaged I put a comment on a post from a training organization that does trauma training and courses for healing trauma. They call embodied processing. So it's the Center of Healing. And so then, yeah, I've applied to do one of their courses. So I might get the opportunity. I might get an opportunity to actually really take this to that next level. So where I can do mindfulness training and then also offer embodied processing and be certified to do that, which is amazing because, you know, it means I can help people in a much more dynamic way. And, you know, for healing, you really can only help people by teaching them so that they can help and heal themselves. And that's a fundamental principle from these courses of embodied processing. So our friend the insect is back. How cool is that? So look, that just opened up yesterday. So that could be, so check them out. They offer free courses and they have paid courses if you want to become a practitioner. And I've watched quite a lot of their videos where they talk about the modules in the courses, and, you know, I've heard lots of good things about them. That there's a lot of people who have used them worldwide. So, you know, it seems like this amazing opportunity could open up for me early next year, you know. And that happened yesterday. You can see all the birds flying in the background. They're the currawongs. Those, you saw those two birds just fly through. They were, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, their nest is in that tree over there, about up there in the tree. So that even though you can hear, yeah, that's the baby currawong calling out for its parents to feed it. So they're pretty awesome. When it was raining heavy yesterday, that they were sitting on the veranda railing here, staying dry. So how awesome is that? Like, just I keep thinking of how these opportunities open up. So like, I had these several dramas, unfortunate things that I had gone through in the last week, and some of it extends over the last few months, and so, and then this stuff opens up. So I've got my insurance now, and I've got my possibility of doing another course early next year, and Alex is here, man. Hey, brother, how you going? So this thing happened that was difficult, but then all of a sudden this other thing happens that open up whole new opportunities for me. So it's amazing. I love how these things just happen sometimes. So Cage Pastor says, when can we expect an Australia trip? Well, that's a really awesome question. I'm going to, with my insurance, I have to fill out and get a specific insurance each time I do a retreat. And so I'm going to start doing those next year. And I've decided I'm going to do four times a year. I'll do 2-day retreats, and then maybe in the middle of winter, a 4-day retreat. And then, so, you know, and then maybe, so I like the idea of doing these on the equinox and solstice around those times. And often we have holidays associated with those times, so it makes it easier for people. So I'll be doing the mindfulness training ongoing, you know, one-to-one generally. And then I'll have the 4 times a year, I'll have retreats. And so, yeah, how cool would that be? Is that people could actually, if you want, travel to Australia to come and spend a couple of days learning mindfulness and other healing techniques, and go for walks in nature would be a big aspect to it. So I'd be holding these retreats either at a national park or near a national park. Again, this is something that I didn't actually even think about until yesterday. I didn't think about it at all. I thought I'd do focus on just the training exercises. And then when the insurance came through, it was talking about the retreats, and I'm like, why don't I do this, you know? And so how awesome is that? You know, I had no thought of doing that until yesterday. And the other thing was that course that I applied to do, which I might be starting in January. So this is amazing how, you know, I could be I could be going through like catastrophe, but then there's a fortuitous event or opportunities happen, and it's exciting. Like, you know, how awesome would that be? Like, I take people for 4 days retreat in a beautiful location, and teach mindfulness and go for bushwalks, and teach trauma healing, you know, polyvagal theory and polyvagal exercises, and like amazing. And I spoke to my friend yesterday, long-time friend from like high school, long-time friend, and he's a very honourable person, someone that would never betray you, sort of person, you know. But he's very wise, and like Alex says, that sounds amazing. Yes, brother. How cool. Maybe you can sign up, you know. How awesome. So I'll make these retreats affordable, but also profitable. It's got to be worth putting them on, but at the same time, make it because for me, people who are healing from complex trauma, especially, if they can get benefit from this, like, you know, I understand how difficult things are because everything costs so much money. So if I can make it affordable, maybe maybe Alex, you can, and Marina and Cage Pastor and Go Fast, maybe you can all get on an airplane and come to Australia. How awesome would that be? How awesome would that be? And you got 6 months or more than 6 months. So I'm planning on making it winter solstice because winter here is beautiful, and you know, a particular national park which I'd want to do this winter solstice retreat at is just beautiful at this time of year. It does get pretty cold. It does get pretty cold there, so that's the only thing that maybe, you know, maybe spring. Maybe spring is when I go to that place I'm thinking of. And the winter one might be at another national park that's more temperate climate. So beautiful sunny days that are 20 degrees and it doesn't get freezing at night. So, but Cage Pastor says that got to go, getting to bed. So be well all. Thanks for being here, Pastor. You're a legend. So how cool would that be, Alex? Get on an airplane and come to Australia. Book holidays and you know, for yeah, the spring equinox would be, or the winter. You know, I'm planning on holding 4 retreats a year, 2 2-day ones and 2 4-day ones. And I was talking about my friend that I was talking to on the telephone, and I said, my friend, how awesome is this? I'm going to start doing retreats next year. And I said to him, you know, of course I want you to be a keynote speaker at it, you know, because he's studied healing for most of his adult life, you know. So he was doing all that work so long ago. So he's got such a wealth of knowledge. And, you know, he said, oh, you know, establish your own practice first. And when the time's right, he would be honored to be a speaker, you know. And how awesome is that? Like, that happened yesterday. So Alex says, I'm definitely considering it. Awesome. I'll write that down. I'll write Alex is first on the list. He's coming along. I think Cage Pastor might be keen as well. Sorry, it's shaking the screen. How awesome is that? Yesterday, I had no idea that was going to happen. And then it's just opened up a whole new set of opportunities. And it perfectly aligns with what I want to be doing. And, you know, I'm not going to, it's not, you know, it's just going to happen. I'm not going to, have unreasonable expectations for what I can produce. So I'm really confident that it'll be this amazing thing. And how awesome would that be? You know, I get to meet you all, whoever comes to these retreats. So amazing. And I'm so excited for that. And this is stuff that I can actually, having this, it means so much to me because I've got like something to work towards that is meaningful, and I'm really lost for words that this just happened, and all these things happened just yesterday. So I appreciate the universe for doing this, and it's because it's you have to engage with the universe, and then it responds. The more things you sort of do in a positive way, the more opportunities will open up for you. Marina says, "Good for you, Luke. I appreciate this group. I'm so glad I stumbled upon this page." Yeah, thank you, Marina. I'm so glad you discovered it too. So maybe you can come to Australia next year and have a holiday, and part of the holiday could be doing a trauma healing mindfulness retreat. So that's such an amazing thing. Like, I look at this and I'm like, so exciting. I have this thing. Okay, now this is a really important thing. And this is something that I do when I'm faced with futility or disillusionment and very like a severe situation. Like, it's like when I'm faced with adversity and I feel like I'm trapped, I feel like there's no hope, I create my way out of the mess, So even if using creativity and imagination, I have dreams and aspirations, and I've suffered a lot from telling people my dreams and then them telling me it's never going to happen, and then I give up on them. So but by dreaming and imagining some possibility for the future, even if it seems so far, or from other people's perspective, they might see it as being impossible. That doesn't matter, By doing this work, by creating something, it gives me that sort of chance to distract from my situation. And that's why I say it's like I create my way out of feudalistic, sorry, I create my way out of difficult situations. So it's almost like the more futile the situation, the more imaginative and creative my dream becomes. And so I acknowledge that, you know, I will think of something like a new pathway, a new path in life, something new to do, something to create or build. And, you know, just because it seems like it's a big thing, so to other people, they might see it and go, look, you're just dreaming. You're never going to, that's never going to happen. And I used to hear that over and over and over. One particular saying was, yeah, that'll happen. So I heard that constantly for like, you know, over 10 years, through a very difficult period in my life where I was doing this, creating my way out of things, you know, and I have fecundity. So fecundity is the ability to think about or create new ideas. And not everyone has that ability, but see, I practice that. And so when I would be in a really difficult situation, I would create my way out of the situation. But see, I look at things like this idea of doing retreats, and if I told people now, this is what I want to do, a lot of people would say, no, there's no way that's going to happen. You're not capable of that. So then I'm not going to listen to that. You know, I actually think that I would be really good at putting on like a retreat, small scale retreat with a limited number of people. And there's nothing stopping me doing that. Marina says, heck yeah, with the thumbs up. Yeah, it's being open and self-aware and what is possible in your life, communicating that to people who that curiosity have the ability to put you down. Yep, totally. I would stay away from those people. Yes. I totally agree. I see what you mean. Yeah, you meant to say lack of. Yeah, I learned to actually I made this quote many years ago, like 20 years ago, and it was, you know, don't tell people your dreams. That way they can't stop you. So there is this thing with humans when they will try to tear you down or fill you with doubt. So, you know, sometimes it's better to just work on things and then show them. Don't actually, you know, it became a major problem for me because I have this ability to think of creative things and I come up with ideas all the time. I tell people and then they tell me it'll never happen. And so I give up on it. And I can only blame myself in that situation. I can't blame the other person for putting doubt in my mind. So I've just got to keep checking. I'm sitting in a position where I can see. So I'm on watch, on guard. How amazing is this opportunity for me to just sit here on the veranda, have a conversation with all these lovely people. Marana's here. How you going, Marana? Awesome to see you. Have a conversation and talk about what I'm doing and what I want to do. And I'm getting great feedback. You know, people are encouraging. So, you know, again, I didn't think that was going to happen today. And it just happened. It's amazing how this stuff works. Marina says, and just be aware that people who react projecting their negativity learn from that. Yes, that's a really good comment. That's exactly it. So I learned to not get offended, and, you know, just realize that that's like a natural reaction, that they would resist any idea that is different or new, and they would put doubt into the possibility of it coming to fruition. So, yeah, creating my way out of catastrophe or disaster or futility has been something that I've done to survive through trauma responses that are severe. Marana says, hi to Marina. Marina says yes with the thumbs up. Marina says, yes, don't concern yourself with the behavior of others, just your own, and protect your mental health. That's another really awesome comment. Put yourself first it's not being selfish. Sorry, I'm expecting Dad to get home soon. I'm wondering, he should be home soon. So I've got the confidence. I know I can do this. So there's nothing's going to stop me, you know. It's not like I'm reinventing anything with setting up a retreat, and it's not like I'm going to make it some full-on thing. It's going to be quite simple and calm, and I've already thought about. I could easily fill 4 days solid of exercises, talks, activities. You know, I think it'd be just amazing. You know, going to watch the sunrise and the sunset. That's a pretty special thing to do. Is if you see the sunrise and then the sunset, or vice versa. See the sunset and then the next morning, maybe even stay up all night long, and then be present through the middle of the night, and then so simple things, you know. It's all feasible. I've got time to plan it, and you know, it might only be that I only need like 3 or 4 people to sign up for it to actually make it happen. You know, so there's nothing stopping me, really. So yeah, I can do this and it's going to be awesome. So when I told my friend about it, he was so supportive and he just said, man, you've got this. You're going to do this. This is awesome. He said, do a few retreats first on your own and develop what you're doing, and then he would love to be a speaker at the retreat, so awesome. All this happened in the last day. It's overwhelming in some respects, and again, I'm writing a book, so I've got like 250 poems, so I've got to actually pick out the best ones now to make a book. And that's really exciting. Again, I didn't know that was going to happen until just recently, and then suddenly it's happening. And I would never have thought any of this stuff would be happening. It's like 6 months ago, no way. And to look at where I am now and how optimistic I am for the future, and I've got practical things. It's happening. There we go. Dad said he'll be home in 30 minutes. So I'll keep chatting for maybe another 20 minutes. I'm so excited about this, Hey, look, bush turkey's there. Let's just watch this. See the bush turkey? How cool is that? Thanks everyone for being here today. This just sitting in front of a camera and contemplating things and doing it in an interactive way is amazing. And sort of going back, the bush turkey's back again. Going back to, what I was talking about as far as I have to do a review of how I do things. So things will be slightly different moving forward. And I acknowledge where I've made mistakes. It's not easy having a chat stream going and to not make mistakes. So I have to acknowledge and forgive myself for anything that I've done wrong, but make sure I learn from it. And I think, how awesome is this? Like, I wrote down Alex because I was like, we've got the first person who wants to come to a retreat. And I think Cage Pastor said she'd sign up as well. So I wrote that down. Thank you so much, Marina. Marina says, you're doing great. Thank you. Alex says, yeah, I'm interested. Awesome, brother. So like, you make it next. I think the spring one will be the big one. Like I don't know. It'll be amazing. How awesome. I'm just like, I'm so excited, because you think I had no idea that that would be happening yesterday. And then all these things happened, and now it's like it's happening. It's just amazing. I know I'm just going over and over it, but like even like, okay, that's a perfect example of like, so I was writing the poetry to create my way out of a very difficult time, and I was writing about hope and surviving and all this stuff, and I ended up with enough material to create my way out of a difficult time and actually make a book. Why not? So that's an example of like what I do to, it wasn't until I actually looked at the number of poems I'd written that I realized that I've got enough stuff here for an actual book. And then so half the work's done. Elaine Belmont's here. How you going, Elaine? Says, what would you do if you made a really important discovery, but no one listens to you and you need someone with specific knowledge, but you're alone? That's a really good question. That's a really good question. I think I would keep working on it for starters. I wouldn't, just because you're trying to tell people around you. Yeah. Essentially, that Alex says yes. He's already been through that, and you're right. I did sort of speak about that. Really, it's been a theme. It has been a theme of my life. Is to have an amazing idea and then for it to be disregarded. So I did a public art course in 99 or 2000. No, yeah, it was 2000. And the year 2000. And, at that course, I talked about this thing. I had this concept for this website. And then it was essentially Wikipedia. Like I had this idea and I was telling someone about it, and they're like, that's such a great idea. And it's essentially the core structure of Wikipedia, how it works. And I had the same thing with Kickstarter. I had this idea for a website where people put their ideas on the website and then people can donate or help fund make it happen. And then I told some friends about it and they said, oh, that'll never happen, it's a waste. Don't even think about it. It's never going to happen. And so I gave up on the idea. And then 2 years later, Kickstarter appears on the internet. It's like, when people tell you no, that's when you just got to keep going. If it's for a valid reason that it's, you're going to cause yourself harm, run yourself short, or there's the sunken costs fallacy, and that's very real. So being cautious is certainly something, but you got to be bold and brave and give things a go. So that's why this whole thing about the retreats, it just happened naturally because I'd already done all this work. It's like I'd already done the business plan for taking people for essentially one-day retreats, 24-hour retreats. And then this is just an extension of that to make it 2 days or up to 4 days. So Alex says, yeah, screw the people that say no, totally. Exactly. You know, it's give it a, it's when that happens, that just gives you more of a reason to stick to what you're doing. You know, you look at all the people that succeeded with things. They say that, you know, everyone told them they were mad. Everyone told them it would never happen, but they just stuck with it, went through the failure process and didn't give up. And eventually it happens. That's it. Alex says pouring gas on the fire. Totally. It's yeah. How good is this? I'm just so calm and tranquil right now. And I've had this amazing conversation reaffirming a lot of things. And reflecting on things as well. So everything's still good. I'm grateful for these moments. This is what I love about these chats and just doing this live stream is that, you know, we're just present. We're conscious and we're present. And that's special. See, there you go. When that Corella flew through and made it very clear that it was flying past, we all got distracted by it, didn't we? And it drew our attention to it. So just as I talk about being present, and Marina says, yeah, it really is with the heart. You know, so it's amazing how that, you know, things present themselves as you focus your attention on it. And it could be a distraction, is the thing that is the distraction is being present. And that happened while I was talking about being present. Marina says, I was feeling very anxious before this chat. I will, I'm sorry to hear that, but Marina continues, it calmed down and I feel much more calm and present. Thank you. Isn't that amazing? So I know I'm as you can see, I'm like alert at the moment. I'm constantly checking through the window, make sure everything's all right. So I do have a heightened sense of awareness at the moment, but at the same time, I'm quite calm. Like every car that drives past, I think it's Dad getting home. So I'm like, how you know, again, I'm so grateful for everyone. You know, I think this is probably a good opportunity to end the chat now. And, you know, thank you so much to everyone that's been here. Go Fast, Pastor, Marina, thank you so much, Marina. The fact that you shared also that I've just me sitting here talking has allowed you to become calm, which is I'm appreciative of it, and I'm humbled by that. And we can share that same thing, is that it's having this conversation has made me extremely calm and comfortable. So, yeah, it's a good opportunity for everyone to say goodnight to each other, although obviously it's afternoon here. Thank you so much for all your support. Alex, how cool will that be? Come to Australia. Same with Pastor, come to Australia. Marina, come to Australia. Like, let's have this like a 4-day retreat, and you get an opportunity to go and spend another week traveling around Australia as well. So you have a holiday, and then you have the retreat. How awesome. And you got 6 months or more to save up, and I'll make it affordable, because the idea is people healing from trauma, you know, generally it's not money's something that's prohibitive to most people. See how I'm on edge, but I'm calm. I hear the sound. Maybe that's my microphone arriving from the postman. That'd be nice. I don't think it is though. But how cool would it be if it was? See, this is like the Schrodinger's cat. No, it's not. They're going, it's delivery for across the road, not here. So Marina says, good night, love. Good night, chat. Thank you for being here, Marina, and thanks for your comments. And same to you, Alex. Thanks for being here. Go Fast. Thanks for being here. Marana, thank you for being here. You know, and Alian, thank you for being here as well. So, no, that's all right, Marina. So, I've still got to do my research, learning all about Connecticut. So I'm going to write that down, and that's what I'll be doing after the stream. Brainstorm retreat. With an S, so retreats. How awesome is that? I can just dream big, think about what I could create. And if I make it simple, you know, I do actually have a lot of experience from doing festival organizing, you know, even though I was never really in a major role, you know, I have experience from being in many different departments. So, you know, I understand how to put on an event, really. I could do the whole thing myself. You know, I'd probably need, you know, maybe one person at least to assist. But if it's simple, it'll run. Look, good opportunity to end the chat here. Thanks again, everyone. Like, I can't express how grateful I am for having this experience today. You know, so good. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed listening to the birds in my garden and this insect that keeps buzzing around. So yeah, until next time, much love to everyone.